I'll come again in a minute.
Their steam engine. They did very little, virtually no other models that featured that expensive steam engine. This should be steamed up. Now the thing about this is the movements are slow, but they make you cope with it. If there were anything like the proper speed, you'd get them entangled, you couldn't cope with it. But it's just about right. And it's got four movements. It's got the digging, the racking there, look. And you're going the wrong way. And the digging movement. It's also got the slewing movement and the travelling. And the other thing about it, it's all operated with these levers from this or from this platform here. A drive wouldn't be, but it all operates from the same place. And another thing I like about this is that engine, you can get it. And it's still pushing it along. Look.
Oh yeah. It is, no?
Exactly 80 years ago this month. So I started putting a few models together, and that's a few I got. We ended up with this display here. There's actually 16 models here, believe it or not. Many are powered by clockwork motors. Anyway, you can become a member of
Through some old bags, and this particular one is, where are we? February 1967. I came across that model which looked quite good. I thought, well, I'll put that together. There's a piston and a valve and a pump. It's a, to put it crudely, it's a sod to build. It really is. Yeah, that's the cylinder. It should be the piston, the valve, and the pump. So that's so you got the piston, the valve. I've had to concoct that myself, and which has decided to. Come on. You've got to have room for these cables to move around when you try to make it fly. Let's see what we can do then. We'll need, if we're going to fly, we've got to start the engines. So we've got 3 engines, which number 1's running, number 2, and number 3. And we've got a control here which runs through a load of resistances so that we can vary the speed on the engine. So we can shove those into full power. And then if we pull back on the stick, we should get motors up here lifting the whole thing up. So we go into flight. And as the right-hand motor number 1 is just a little bit out of balance with the other, we can just cancel that a little bit. And then, watch this, when we're at height, I stop climbing,
but the tail is coming up to the level of the aeroplane. When you turn, you bank. And the way we do banking here is these cables run round horizontal pulleys, each on the end of an arm. And if you move those two arms that way, then it's going to pull up this side of the aircraft and lower that one, leaving the cable lengths essentially the same. At the same time, if you bank, you've got to turn. So the GRB hopefully will turn the whole lot. So you'll do the banking, but they're not getting any turning. And you'll see the tail will follow it down once we get down to the onto the floor. Right, I pull the stick back.
Yeah.
But this is slowly.
This is fine. It's a ghost train. These are the trucks that are on the track. There's 4 of these. They're under development. They run around a track, a figure of 8 track. It starts at the bottom, goes along when it comes around the top, it comes opposite way. So you've got to turn it around inside, which is we're working on. But this bit here on the photos is that bit there. It's the pay box, but also we'll switch him on. Where are we? Where's it? His hat. Well, it's a good thing. I mean, there's a drive coming out of either side. On one they go that way, and there's like on the house, the shutters open, the ghost comes out. This side there's a big skeleton playing a violin. And this bit goes to the top, there's a clock there with a crazy clock. It's about 4.
Yeah, no trouble. I just didn't bother to put a motor in it.
Oh. What did they put in it? Oh yes.
1953. Well, I never built a diesel before, so I come across that one and just knocked it up in a few minutes, you know how it is.
Right, yeah.
Let's just get around, look at Roger's here. Have a quick look at this.
What I'd like to do is to build a very simple, small Ferris wheel in place of this face plate with its 8 spacers. I just find it intriguing.
It's for moving around for loading the wheel, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, so I see. Yeah. So the next car comes along, people get out, next lot get in.
Yeah. Right.
And then next car comes round, same again. Then when you get to the yellow spacer here, it goes round 5 revolutions. And then it goes through the stop-start mechanism, stop-start motions again.
Oh, that's excellent. Is it John Nuttall, you say?
John Nuttall.
Well, it would be, wouldn't it?
An absolute whiz kid with his gears and his ratio.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
You've got to find some props like yours did.
Yeah, well, you know, years ago, but I've since lost them all, but I had a few left that inspired me. Then I found this explosion book in a charity shop, and it had in it a lovely windmill. So I used that as a...
Well, as you can see, it's running, and I'm pleased. And why am I pleased? Well, it's been to 2 other events.
Scale, so it makes quite a setup. This is number 21A. The reason 21A is that a few years ago, 2000 and variation as their rescue vehicle. And I thought this would make a good model. So I wrote to the Northamptonshire Fire. So rest assured, within a few days, Northamptonshire Fire and Rescue Service, in essence, couldn't do enough to help. And using this hire, which I'm not going to, it does unfold. I haven't attempted to make it work. I can block it up using the collars. The geometry of this is quite complicated, and actually to make the hire unfold the way it has done is more difficult than it may seem. And I didn't realise till I got down to it that these linkages are quite complicated geometry. They're not just a simple push. At any rate, there's the hire, and that enables you with a check. We can produce saws and shovels and all that sort of stuff. But the thing that seems to have caught people... Oh, no, sorry, there's a couple of other things I ought to show you. Of course, I mean, it doesn't... Being me, it doesn't work. It's got no motors because I let my... It's got 4-wheel drive, independent suspension. Yeah, most of it, most of it. Oh, I see loads of models now, I've kept some of the bits and bombs.
But there we are. It does go. And then the motor that drives it there. But of course, that sort of thing.
I've been told on good advice that flatbed.
Did they go together well?
Yeah,
Did they? Oh.
no problems at all.
Oh, okay.
From the 1950s, as I say, accessory.
I'm transformer driving it and I've got the battery which is in the cab. And switch on. I haven't got a differential on this because looking at that, there's a shaft going back from there to the drive. And I think there's one each side.
That would be a good, wouldn't it? Oh, God.